good morning, everyone. And today's a special day. We're at the Westland Department of Public Works. We're inside the building. A lot of folks at home have probably never seen the inside of this building, so we're going to show it off a little bit here for you today. So today we're here to celebrate a new addition here to the facility. Just over my shoulder, you can see the new Westland graphic. It's the new Westland sign shop. We're going to cut the ribbon on that in just a few minutes, and we're going to take you inside and show you all the new capabilities that the Westland DPW department has as far as doing graphic work and sign design. So over the last several years, Westland residents have reinvested in our Department of Public Works equipment, and what we're going to do now is we're going to start to take some of those same efforts and start to revitalize the facility here as well. So what we're going to do today is we're going to ask our DPW Director, Ramsey El-Garib, to step forward and say a few words. Ramsey?
Thank you, Mayor. Well, as a part of Mayor Wild's Westland Progress Initiative, Westland DPW now has the best, most advanced sign shop in Southeast Michigan. First of all, I would like to thank Chris Stone, our foreman, and his staff for making this project happen. I would like to thank all the employees, the foreman, and the DPW directors, Hassan Saab and Doug Morton, and Vic Berra, for taking the initiative and help completing this project on time, and for every employee that contributed to this beautiful facility that we're gonna take a little tour and show what it could do. I remember when I first started working for Westland in 2014, the sign shop was nothing but a storage facility in the back where we stored sign and outdated equipment. And with the help of Chris Stone at the time, we started investing in this shop, and now we have transformed it into this state-of-the-art facility. We now can do all type of traffic control signs. These signs are similar to the stop signs, to the street name signs, yield signs, anything you see on our streets. Also, we could manufacture the signs that you see in front of all city properties, such as at the court and the police station, in front of our DPS facility, and everywhere you could see. We could manufacture banners, we could manufacture for sale signs for city properties. So we are very proud of this facility, and I really thank you all and thank the mayor for taking this initiative and supporting us. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Ramsey. And before we bring up our foreman, Chris Stone, I want to recognize three of our local city council members that are with us here today. Over my left-hand shoulder, we have our council president, Jim Hart. We have Councilman Jim Godbout and Councilman Mike Londo. And they've been very active and persuasive supporters of reinvesting in our Department of Public Works. So we appreciate you guys being here today and your support. So Ramsey just gave you a little sneak peek of kind of what our capabilities are here today. You know, when you build a team in the City of Westland, we have a big team. Team Westland's a big team. It's amazing if you take a look inside sometimes how much talent you have. And it's easy to overlook that sometimes. But one of the things that we did discover is that we had a lot of talented folks working right here at DPW as far as graphic work and sign work. In the past, the city has contracted a lot of that work out. We sent out for signs, and we paid a lot of money for them. And you know, sometimes when you do it that way, you got to buy them in bulk, and you may only need one. So with that said, now we have the ability to do signs here. We can do one-offs, we can do graphic work, we can do banners, and you know, we do a lot of events that require special signage. COVID has required a lot of special signage, and now we can do all of that under the DPW roof. So with that said, I'm going to bring up our foreman, Chris Stone, and let him talk a little bit about it as well. Thanks.
Morning. I guess the first thing I want to say is that I believe in giving credit where credit's due, and without the people that did all this work, we wouldn't be where we are today. And that, you know, that goes for everybody in DPS. We have a couple of people here that put all their time and effort and knowledge into building the furniture and benches, desks, whatnot in the sign shop, and you can check it out before you leave today. Without these guys and everyone in DPS, like I said, we wouldn't be where we are today. So with that, I'd like to just say that there's a couple of big benefits to being able to do stuff in-house. One would be the cost effectiveness versus purchasing signs outright. There's a big savings there. And the other benefit is that if you need something now, you don't have to wait in line, because when you go to a sign shop somewhere with your idea or your order, you may not get it in the time frame that you need it. So those are the two biggest benefits that I see of having this shop in-house. So we come quite a distance. I'm nervous, I'm not a public speaker. We have a picture back here in the back you can check out on your way into the shop that shows the room before we tackled it. And everybody here had some part in this, whether they were in that room cleaning it out or whether they were out on the road holding the ship up, because that was, everybody matters. So without them, we couldn't have gotten this done. We had many people involved in that. So this is quite impressive, in my opinion. This room took quite some time to get cleaned up in the shape that it's in now. I think you'll agree when you look in there. If you come in off the street, never been here before, and you walked in there, in my opinion, I'd be like, wow. So that's all I got.
Want to introduce your
This is, yeah. Jane, Warren, Ben Dawson, Andy Bass. These are just three of the people that helped. There's many more. I could spend all afternoon listing them off, but we're a little short on time. So, thank you.
Thanks. All right. Well, thank you, Chris. And one of the things that Chris is doing is, because he's extremely talented in this field, as you can see with his staff here, is that now he's training the next folks, because that's one of our things we have to do, is we have to pass on that knowledge to our other folks in DPW, and Chris is doing a great job of that. So we're going to wrap things up. We're going to ask everybody to step forward. We're going to take a quick chance. We'll try to distance the best that we can up here. We're going to cut the ribbon on this, and definitely take a look at the picture of that sign, what the place used to look like. And I remember when we first started talking about reinvesting in the sign shop, there was a lot of pushback. Said, I don't know if that's going to work. And so I want to just recognize Vic Barrow, because I told Vic what we wanted to do, and Vic said, we'll get it done. And he came back and worked with Ramsey and the other management here and the staff, and we got it done. So good job. All right, everybody, let's cut the ribbon and let's go to work. Thanks.
3, 2, 1. Congratulations.
Okay, we've officially cut the ribbon on the new Westland graphic located inside the Westland DPW building. And now Chris is actually going to walk us through and give you a chance at home to take a look at all the incredible things that we have inside Westland graphic. Chris, it's all yours.
Yep, with that, we have the machine warming up now. I just sent a job from the computer to the printer, and typically it takes a few minutes to warm up. And once it gets to this point, it'll start printing. This print head will move back and forth, and once it does its little warm up, it'll start printing in a back and forth fashion. And what we're doing today is our City of Westland seals.
So our logo is multicolored, Chris, and is this a chart of all the different colors you can produce?
This here is one of our vendors that we can get vinyl from, and they stock just about every color under the sun, as you can see. We have other vendors as well that I'll show you here soon. This one here is one of my favorites. They make a very high quality vinyl for cut and print.
While it's starting to print, let's talk a little bit about this machine. This is something that if you watch the city council meetings, you probably saw about a year ago. the City Council approved a purchase of this new machine. And why don't you talk a little bit about what the machine is and actually how big you can print on it?
Well, this is a 64-inch HP latex printer. You can feed media and print on media any size from 64 inches down in size, depending on the job that you're doing. It's basically, it's a latex printer, which means we don't have to have exhaust machines like the older solvent printers did, nor do we need to laminate jobs when they're done.
In the old days, how would you have done this with that before you had this capability?
Well, in the old days, here, we couldn't do it because we didn't have a printer. There was no way to do this. We would have to farm this out. We would have to purchase this from a graphic company and at a fairly, decent cost. Having this machine, very cost effective in my opinion.
If you take a look inside there, you can start to see the city logos coming together, all the different colors.
What I sent was obviously 3 logos and 1 repeat, which means another row of 3. So basically it's going to print 6 of these. And they'll all get used for various jobs like our vehicle graphics. This size, 15.5 inch, is the typical size we use for city vehicles.
Okay, Chris, so now we're looking at the next job. Can you explain a little bit about what we're watching right here?
This basically would be what comes off the printer. The next stage is to cut. Do a contour cut around each of these seals. What it's doing is reading this barcode. After it reads it, gets the information, it proceeds on to cut. Which is what you're seeing now.
This barcode here, it's got all the instructions for the computer and what to do?
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty neat.
That's right. And it's unbelievably accurate.
So this is actually cutting it right now?
Yes, it's a knife.
And this is what you were talking about earlier, is that you had to do all that by hand,
Yes.
right?
The problem was we didn't have the capability to print.
Okay, Chris, let's talk about what are we looking at here then?
Okay, this is kind of stepping back a few pages here. When we were at the printer, this is basically what I sent.
Chris, at our ribbon cutting today, you talked about some of the handiwork of your staff, and you mentioned a desk.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is the desk you were talking about?
This is it.
Wow, this
Unbelievable.
is really good craftsmanship, and you really utilized the space here, and that's one of the things that you really had to do inside of this room, is to try to utilize your space the best you could. They did a great job.
9 days.
If my wife would have saw this on Wayfair, she probably would have ordered it for our basement. So, Chris, what do we have here? Are these the different types of signs that you can create on a daily basis?
Basically what that is, that's a universal sign chart that has part numbers, and all those part numbers, the word universal comes to mind because that number is the same here as it is on the other side of the state or the other side of the nation.
Okay, Chris, so now this is the last stage of the print, correct?
Yes. So what happened was we sent the initial job to the printer, and then after the printer, we loaded it in the cutter. It read the barcode and it cut the contour cut. After that, we come to this bench and we have one of our guys doing the final prep for these, which is what we have here. I know they're smaller. We're just demonstrating the different sizes that we can do, or that we typically do. And that's what this is, basically, is the weeding of our city seals is done just like this. It's a fairly easy process. And then if you wanted to transfer it to a vehicle or a sign, you can put masking tape on it and then transfer it onto whatever substrate. That's basically it.
All right. Well, why don't we move on and take a look at some of the final products then?
Okay.
All right, Chris, so now we kind of move to the final part of it where we get to actually take a look at some of the final product. And you can see over our shoulder here, certainly the residents of Westland have seen a lot of these signs around town, and part of our neighborhood makeover program has been replacing a lot of signs. So, Chris, the stuff looks great.
Thank you. This is basically just like this final assembly of a street sign here, which they did a little earlier. And it shows you what a blank looks like before the cut vinyl is applied to the sign. And obviously when they're done, they're two-sided. These ones, they're made the same way. They can be printed or cut in cases. Like this is a single color sign. It can be cut or print, so we can make it either way. As well as these other ones that are just single, meaning red. Red is the only color really that's there.
They all look very reflective. Is that
Yes.
part of the?
The latest and greatest reflective vinyl for our traffic signage is HIP.
All right, so you guys even drill your own holes in them when you're done, huh?
Yeah, we use this for the acrylic sign that you've seen on the wall here and the one outside of the shop. This ensured that the pilot or the hole that they drilled for the mounts were accurate.
All right. Well, Chris, the place looks absolutely phenomenal. You did a great job. Your brainchild was to design it, put it all together in a system that flows, and you utilize the space incredible. When you look at the carpentry of these tables, I mean, we showed you the desk, but I mean, when you actually look at the workbenches, I mean, these were all made right here by our DPW technicians, and they did a great job. I forgot to mention that Chris is a Westland resident, so I know he cares about the city. He lives, breathes, and dies DPW, and you see his handiwork all around town. If you go to the recycling center, you'll actually see some of the newest signs that we produced in-house, and you'll see them all around the city, and hopefully we'll see some of your handiwork at Blues Brews and Barbecue later this year.
Can't wait. I owe it to these guys for all the furniture and the benches and the desk that they built. It wouldn't be possible without them, so.
All right. Well, congratulations. And Westland Graphics, open for business. Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
DPS!